Yeah, alright, we're back with another one. We got ICE and Sheriff Grady smashed Disney employee human trafficking ring, 157 arrested in mega operation. From ICE operations official.
Any of our undercover operations be where we're dealing with human
This is probably one of my favorite sheriffs out of any state. I don't know a ton of other sheriffs, but that kind of by default gets to make him my favorite because I don't know many others. So if they do something worthy of gaining my attention, maybe we'll see something from them and they'll get ranked higher. But I've seen a good chunk of footage from him. I've seen a good handful of clips. And if you'd like to see a future video of me potentially reacting to a whole bunch of his clips that I just find a video of it all put together, and leave a comment down below letting me know. And while you're down there, smash that like button and get subscribed if you're not already. Okay, and then let's jump right on into it.
trafficking, prostitution, child predators without Disney. He is a lifeguard at Disney Art of Animation Resort. So he gets to be a lifeguard and sit up and look at children all day long.
Sounds just like the perfect job for his pedophilic ass.
We made 157 arrests, 47 prostitutes, 96 Johns. He is the classic example. If these child predators are not locked up, children are in bed.
And not just making sure these guys get locked up, but making sure they get locked up for appropriately lengthy amounts of time so that they never have the chance to come out and hurt any kids. Because, you know, if you're the judge who happens to let someone like this go because, oh, they seem like a changed person, they seem very apologetic now. If they happen to have, you know, gotten caught diddling a kid back before you put him in, or before another judge put him in, it's like, yeah, I think you're just saying anything you can to attempt to get your ass out, because, you know, everybody likes to have their freedom. So, speaking of freedom, got Charlie Kirk's shirt on today. I chose the red one because, well, he had a white one and someone made him bleed on it. So mine's red in case anyone wants to make me bleed through this one. Then it'll hide the blood a bit better.
When Sheriff Grady Judd stood before cameras during Operation Autumn Sweep, he delivered a line that would echo across Florida. "We always arrest Disney employees." Behind him stood mugshots of 3 men, a lifeguard from the Art of Animation Resort, a custodian who just moved from Philadelphia, and a backstage utilities worker from Haines City, all employed by
Background checks, background checks, background checks. That's what I gotta say to that. Disney needs to be doing their fair share of checking and just making sure that they aren't hiring people who might have a history of doing something. Check other states, check everything. It's like if you're going to have someone working around kids, you need to be background checking the hell out of them. Just like the Iowa school district that failed the background check for their superintendent and only hired him because he had a pretty good resume and he had a social security card. Like, no, do a background check. This person works with children.
the most trusted brand in family entertainment, all arrested for attempting to solicit sex from children. This wasn't an isolated incident. It was the latest chapter in a pattern stretching back nearly 2 decades, where the very employees' parents trust to protect their children at the happiest place on earth were being charged with preying on them. The betrayal...
I got one question to the audience here. Have you ever, like, had the average person here, have you ever had just the, oh, I want to go to Disney more than, like, 1 or 2 times in your lifetime? Like, yeah, it would be cool to hang out there and just be able to do it all the time and have as much fun as you'd like, but, like, eventually you'll get tired of Disney and you won't want to go to Disney. You'll want to go do other things. Like, there are literally adults that are like, that would be excited if you sent them to Disney World every single day or Disneyland every day. And I don't get that. Like, My plan in life is if I ever if I ever get the chance and opportunity, I'm going to Disney, going to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I'm going to do everything one time at least. If I like something a lot, I might go do it a second time, but I'll buy the lightsaber and build it. I'll buy the droid and build it, and I'll try the drinks at the cantina and everything. I'll do as much stuff there. I'll probably spend way too much money, but that's fine because it'll be an absolute one-time thing in my life, and I will never go back because, frankly, at that point, I'll have had everything from that experience, and I won't want it, and I won't need it again. But, like, that's, like, the only franchise that I can think of that's worthy, but there are people who would be, oh yeah, I'll go do it, and then I'll go do it again in a couple weeks, because I bought the pass, and I can go anytime I want, and it's like, what? Why do you want that ability? Like, is it really that fun for you?
Cuts deeper because of the magic dusted illusion. Mickey Mouse ears and child predators shouldn't exist in the same universe. Yet here they were, brand.
I mean, if you're a child predator, you're going to go where the children are. You're going to go to get a job at Disney. You're going to go on Roblox after you get home from work. Because there's kids that play Roblox. There's kids at Disney. You're going to go where the kids are. If you like something, you're going to go where it is.
Brandon Orr, the 28-year-old lifeguard engaged to be married, showing up at an undercover location thinking he was meeting a 14-year-old girl. Kyle Widmeyer, the 20-year-old custodian who just started his Disney career, now facing solicitation charges. Juan Albino, the 35-year-old married utilities worker caught in the same net. How does this keep happening? How did Disney's environment become a hunting ground? The answer lies in digital footprints, systemic vulnerabilities, and a shocking pattern that law enforcement has been tracking since 2006. This isn't just about individual bad actors. It's about how predators exploit trust, how institutions miss red flags, and how police are connecting online grooming to real-world positions of access. The numbers tell a story that Disney would rather not acknowledge. Since 2006, at least 35 Disney employees have been arrested and charged with sex crimes involving children. 32 have been convicted. The cases
We're almost averaging one every 6 months. That's not great for Disney. I don't think many employers would enjoy having police show up at their work every 6 months, arresting one of their employees because they're, convicted of some serious crimes or accused of serious crimes at the time. They will be convicted because, well, there's a mountain of evidence when they're coming to arrest them all.
is read like a recurring nightmare. Lifeguards, ride operators, hotel staff, and contractors all using their Disney affiliation as camouflage. Why does this keep happening? The pattern reveals three critical factors: access, environment, and perceived trust. Disney World hosts over 50 million visitors annually, with tens of thousands of employees moving through a transient workforce. Predators seek these environments deliberately, places where suspicion is low and access to children is high. A man in a Disney uniform isn't questioned when he smiles at a child.
If you're looking for something, you're going to go to the place that has it. Like, that's really that simple of why there's a sudden rise in pedophiles, trying to work for Disney. It's the shocking thing that they get the job because Disney's not doing the proper background checks and finding information on these people, doing any level of digital, investigation. It's like, I bet you there are, not every single one, but I bet you there are at least, I'll go low and say about 5% of them. And even if it's only going to catch 5% of them, if you got the chance to get rid of 5% of pedophiles in the world, I'm sure if there was a button that you could just push, I'm sure you'd push that button. Just to eliminate 5% of all pedophiles. It's like, yeah, it's not much, but it's a start.
A lifeguard watching over kids seems protective, not predatory. Sheriff Judd's team noticed a pattern years ago. Every operation, he noted, Disney employees show up. It wasn't coincidence. Law enforcement began cross-referencing digital evidence with employer databases. When undercover detectives posed as minors on chat apps and dating sites, they'd ask suspects where they worked. An answer always comes, Disney, Let's take Brandon Orr's case. The 28-year-old lifeguard didn't just mention his job, he used it to validate his credibility. I work at Art of Animation. He'd tell what he thought was a 14-year-old girl. I watched kids all day. This wasn't accidental disclosure, it was strategic grooming. He was leveraging Disney's reputation to lower guards and create opportunities. The internal vulnerabilities are equally concerning.
You hear the word Disney as a kid and you think, oh, the fun guy, the Mickey Mouse guy, the guy that owns Star Wars now. Like, yeah, you're thinking the friendliness of it all. You're not thinking a pedophile is trying to hunt me. You're thinking fun, the Magic Kingdom.
Disney's massive operation relies heavily on subcontractors and third-party contractors. Background checks might catch felony convictions, but they miss digital footprints, the chat room conversations, the hidden social media profiles, the pattern.
Yeah, I think any business that's employing people that work near kids should have a full digital, background check. And if you go through and you find posts or something that they said in a comment and it raises red flags, maybe not make it the decision you don't hire them, but maybe bring it up in an interview and be like, hey, so while we were doing our background checks on you, we found this. Care to explain, or do you still have this opinion? What? And yeah, because that could create a toxic work environment. That could create a dangerous work environment. And as an employer, you should be looking to have the best, most comfortable work environments that you can get.
Of behavior that don't appear on formal records. High employee turnover creates constant churn, making ongoing monitoring nearly impossible. Law enforcement's intelligence gathering revealed something even more disturbing. Some predators specifically sought Disney employment for the access it provided. It wasn't just about the...
Well, I mean, yeah, especially if you get to be one of the Disney guys who's in one of the costumes. I'd be curious to know how many of them are pedophiles who are just completely under the radar, not doing anything illegal except for, they get some kind of gratification of, when a kid wants to come up and get a picture with them and they're coming down and hugging around them and being like, yeah, because, they get to hug a kid there, but all of a sudden it's okay because they look like fucking Goofy.
Paycheck. It was about the proximity to children and the protective coloring of a trusted brand. When detectives built digital profiles of suspects, they found consistent patterns. Men using their Disney affiliation as part of their grooming strategy, presenting themselves as safe, trusted figures while hiding their true intentions. The timeline shows this isn't new. In 2022's Operation March Sadness, 4 Disney employees were arrested, including a Polynesian resort lifeguard who sent explicit messages to an undercover detective posing as a 14-year-old. In 2021's Operation Child Protector, 3 more Disney workers were caught attempting to meet minors. The pattern repeats because the environment remains target-rich. Endless streams of children, parents in vacation.
Yeah, I mean, parents always want to take their kids to Disney, and even some of the Disney adults who now have kids, they're using, I'm going to take my kid to Disney because I never got to go as a kid, as the excuse, and so they take their kid repeatedly because they're like, I want my kid to have all the fun, and which that's fine and all. However, dangers and things like this are good to be aware of and know that there might be a pedophile nearby. There might be someone who wants to do nefarious things to your child and cause them harm. And you got to be someone who's aware and alert.
Mode with lowered vigilance and employees blending into the background of what's supposed to be America's safest fantasy. The breakthrough came when Polk County detectives decided to flip the script. Instead of waiting for predators to reveal themselves, they would build the perfect digital trap, one specifically designed to catch those hiding behind trusted positions. Operation Autumn Sweep wasn't just another sting. It was a precision intelligence operation launched during hurricane preparations when predators thought law enforcement would be distracted. Detectives created elaborate undercover profiles across multiple platforms, chat apps, social media, dating sites. They posed as minors, carefully documenting every interaction. But this time they added a new layer, employment cross-referencing. When suspects revealed where they worked, detectives immediately checked against Disney's public employee directories and contractor lists. The pattern emerged instantly, men using their Disney affiliation as part of their grooming strategy. Brandon Orr, the 28-year-old Art of Animation lifeguard, took the bait completely. He didn't just mention his job, he weaponized it. I watch kids
He wanted to use it as a tool to try to get what he wanted, but all of a sudden it was the ultimate tool of his own downfall.
All day at Disney, he told what he thought was a 14-year-old girl, sending photos of the resort pool area to prove his credibility. He used his actual work schedule to coordinate meetings. I'm off at 4 p.m. Tuesday, we can meet then. He even described his uniform, thinking these details would make him seem...
Imagine being the person on the other end of the line, the 14-year-old girl who's just some cop who's sitting there, and you're getting this information, and it's like, guys, we've got an address to meet up, we've got a time, we've got the ability just to swoop in and get him while he's got his guard down, thinking, we're just going to be a 14-year-old girl coming up. And all of a sudden, the cops swing in, scoop him out, and it's like, oh my, cuffs are on before he even blinked.
Safer, more legitimate. The digital evidence became overwhelming, or sent explicit messages discussing sexual acts, repeatedly confirming he believed he was communicating with a minor. Meanwhile, Kyle Widmeyer, the newly hired custodian, was simultaneously engaging with another undercover account, his Disney employment serving as his primary credibility builder. I just started at Magic Kingdom. He wrote, apparently thinking this would reassure his target. The coordination between agencies became textbook precision. Homeland Security, ICE, Army, Criminal Investigations, and multiple local departments shared real-time intelligence. They discovered several suspects were communicating across state lines, using Disney's reputation to establish trust with victims they'd never met. The operational planning was so tight that when Hurricane Milton forced an early shutdown, they'd already gathered enough evidence for 157 arrests. The takedown happened across multiple locations, but the most symbolic was a hotel room just miles from Disney's main gate. Detectives had chosen it deliberately close enough to feel familiar to Disney employees, anonymous enough to avoid suspicion. When Brandon Orr walked in, he found not a 14-year-old girl, but waiting detectives who immediately recognized his Disney uniform. His statement to police said everything. "I literally do this at my job," referring to processing paperwork for arrested soldiers. Now, he would process his own. Sheriff Judd's press conference revealed the stunning scope. "We arrested one for human trafficking. Usually it's remarkably difficult to find the human trafficker, but we did this time." But the Disney connections drew immediate attention as mugshots flashed across screens. Or the lifeguard, Widmeyer the custodian, Albino the utilities worker, parents throughout Florida felt a visceral shock. These weren't anonymous predators, they were men who literally held their children's safety in their hands. The community reaction was immediate and furious. Parents flooded Disney's guest services with calls demanding better background checks. Local news stations ran side-by-side photos, Mickey Mouse waving to children alongside mugshots of employees who'd betrayed that trust. The irony was, crushing men paid to protect children at the most magical place on earth, now charged with attempting to harm them. But the operational success revealed deeper patterns. Detectives found that several suspects had previous arrests, 327 prior felony charges among all Autumn Sweep arrestees, 450 prior misdemeanors. These weren't first-time offenders, they were repeat players who'd learned to exploit system vulnerabilities. The Disney connection wasn't coincidental, it was strategic camouflage, leveraging brand trust to avoid suspicion.
Yep, seems like that's all of a sudden the pedophile playbook for, trying to go under the radar is just go get a job at Disney, gain enough credibility, try to convince someone and then meet up. And it's like, oh, look, now you got cops that you're meeting with. Surprise that you Chris Hansen'd yourself. Like, come on. It's like all they're missing is someone asking them to sit down and have a chat.
Human toll
I mean, they don't need him to have a chat. They've chatted enough and they have everything they need.
Became apparent as victim advocates arrived on scene. Organizations like One More Child and Heartland for Children provided immediate support, recognizing that even attempted predation leaves psychological scars. As one advocate noted, "The majority of people who enter prostitution do so under age 18. Almost every individual we meet has been a victim at some point. The operation had prevented new victims, but highlighted how many existing ones still needed help." Sheriff Judd's assessment was typically blunt. If this operation had only involved
he is never anything but blunt.
all of these arrests, it would have been a success. But the Disney pattern particularly troubled him. "We always arrest Disney employees," he repeated, emphasizing this wasn't anomaly but pattern. The sting had worked perfectly, but it revealed a systemic problem hiding in America's most trusted fantasy.
Yeah, it shows a big problem hiding in Disney that shows that they're not doing proper background checks for people that work with kids. That's 100% something that could solve. I would say it could solve up to half of these cases and problems, that it's like, oh, there's something in their history that makes you think and question it. And it's like, oh yeah. Well, we'll question him on this, because I guarantee you Disney doesn't have a shortage of applicants who could come get a job, of people who would actually enjoy working with kids and not be a creepy pedophile who wants to harm kids.
Failed because it was designed to catch paperwork, not predators. Disney's background checks, like most corporate screenings, look for felony convictions and formal red flags. But they don't see the digital footprints,
Yeah, they need to have a new systems or something else in place. That would be something that I could say the government should create a law for, is if you are in the United States and you work a job with children, you're required to go through extra screening background checks to make sure you are a safe individual to have around kids. Like, that's 100% something I would advocate for heavily. If anyone had any petition or threw something out, that would be a piece of legislation that could easily get passed, I think. You could just call it like the, I don't know, you give it some acronym name that sounds cheesy, and yeah. Anything I come up with will sound like shit off the top of my head. I'd have to write a handful of them down.
Chat room patterns, the grooming behaviors that happen off the clock. They miss the man who clears a criminal background check but spends his nights trolling teen chat rooms using his Disney ID as credibility. Here's how the camouflage works. High employee turnover creates constant churn. Over 70,000 cast members work across Disney World, with thousands more through subcontractors and third-party vendors. The system prioritizes filling positions over deep vetting. Once hired, there's minimal rescreening, no ongoing monitoring of digital activity, no behavioral reassessments. A predator gets through the initial gate and operates undetected for years. Sheriff Judd's team identified the perfect storm: transient workforce, minimal re-verification, and the protective coloring of a trusted brand. Predators weren't just finding jobs at Disney, they were seeking them deliberately. The uniform became the ultimate disguise. A man in...
Yeah, if all of a sudden Disney cracked down and was like, hey, we have new levels of background check. If you're going to be working any of the positions here that involve directly interacting with kids, you have to go through these extra steps. Now, there can be arguments that everybody just should go through those steps so we can catch all pedophiles across the board, but I think there would be some people who just would all of a sudden strategically not go there and avoid the jobs that require those checks, because chances are those checks won't be free to do. Businesses aren't going to want to, at every single business level, isn't going to want to send in those checks, and there will be some that overlook things. So it's not like you can get everyone, but there's a chance you could probably get a good portion of them.
Mickey-themed attire doesn't raise suspicions when he interacts with children. A lifeguard sitting poolside appears protective, not predatory. The environment itself provided cover. Victim advocates note this pattern isn't unique to Disney. It's textbook predator behavior. They seek trusted institutions where suspicion is naturally low. Churches, schools, youth organizations.
100% with churches and schools. There's been, immense amount of times where it's like, oh, that person that was involved with teaching all those kids, yeah, it looks like they were a pedophile behind the scenes the whole time. And they have, a handful of cases dating back 10 years. And it's like, really? You hear these kind of stories and you're like, and how has nobody caught this? And well, part of it's because kids don't understand always when they're younger until they're older and have the realization that, oh, that thing that happened to me as a kid, that was kind of fucked up. That shouldn't have happened. That was inappropriate. I should share this with someone and have things remedied and get justice done.
Disney's family-friendly reputation made it ideal camouflage. As one investigator noted, these men weren't just working at Disney, they were using Disney. They dropped their employer's name during grooming attempts, showing photos of themselves in uniform, describing their access to children as a selling point. The internal policies
It's as a selling point because, oh, this person I'm talking to is just around kids all the time. They sound like a safe person to be around if people like me are also around them all the time. That's the point that they try to use, I'm guessing.
Versus reality gap becomes glaring. Disney's public safety statements emphasize extensive measures and background checks, but law enforcement findings show these measures miss digital behavioral patterns. The company relies on subcontractors who may perform less rigorous screenings. There's no system for ongoing digital monitoring or behavioral reassessment after hiring. Once you're in, you're trusted until you're caught. Judd's warning echoes through every press conference. Reputation doesn't equal immunity. The arrests prove that predators understand institutional trust better than the institutions themselves. They know parents let their guards down at Disney. They know a company focused on magic isn't looking for monsters hiding behind Mickey's ears. The haunting reality is this: we built temples to childhood innocence, and predators found them perfect for hunting. Sheriff Judd's final warning says it all. If we didn't get you this time, we will next time. You're on your way to the county jail, you.
I love his quotes, all the things that he says that are so quotable. And when he takes the jewels of the jewelry of criminals that they arrest, some of that's so funny. I'm definitely probably going to react to one of them videos at some
Just
point.
Don't realize it yet. But the deeper question remains unanswered. Can any system truly secure a fantasy built for children? The illusion of safety might be the most dangerous vulnerability of all. When we believe a place is magically protected, we stop watching for threats. When we trust the costume, we forget to check the person wearing it. The tension remains unresolved because the solution requires more than better background checks. It demands acknowledging that predators will always seek trusted environments. Vigilance, not magic, protects children. Transparency, not fantasy, prevents exploitation. Accountability, not reputation, deters predators. If this investigation reveals anything, it's that safety isn't a place you visit, it's a system you maintain. Even in the most magical places on Earth, darkness finds ways through the cracks. The real magic would be building systems that recognize this reality without destroying the wonder. Next time, we investigate how law enforcement stings are evolving to target entertainment industry predators, and why some institutions resist the scrutiny that could actually protect their magic. And if you want to...
Yeah, that was a great video. I'm going to smash that like button. I won't subscribe yet because it seems more of like a official government-y channel calling ICE Operations Official, so I don't really do the subscribe to the government-y themed ones, but because, I don't think they quite need the credit and the money. They can just put out a video and get the views instead and move on with our days. But anyway, like my video, get subscribed, and I will see you in the next one. See you tomorrow.